Hello, this is Moonlight150, and welcome to my break week activity. Yeah, so my break week activity this time is going to be something I've been thinking about, that I've kind of kept to myself for a little bit, and the conversation kind of came up in both the 100 Girlfriends Discord and the Chaos Squared Discord. So I kind of wanted to talk about it, and this will be my controversy for this week. My controversy is I'm not a big fan of a lot of the character arts, or date arts, or whatever you name these. I call them character arts because they're meant to be the profile picture, basically, of the character. And I do not like a lot of them. So I'm going to go over why I don't, and how could these be better. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be ranking these, and I'm going to go over each one by one. Sadly, we don't have Erus and Chius, Nurse Chius, because of various circumstances regarding Nozawa the illustrator and her having not being able to work so much because of surgery. But we got plenty to work with. We got 30 other girlfriends to work with. We don't need those two right now. So I'm gonna go over why I don't like a lot of these, why they don't work for me. For specifically the reason why I said they're supposed to be profile pictures. I always thought of these, they're supposed to like represent the character in a single image, so that if you show someone these images, they're supposed to get an idea of the character from a single image. And maybe that's just because I have this weird thought on them, like maybe that's not what they're supposed to be, but that's just how I've always been judging them. And so because of that, I always feel like these are bad representations of the characters. And I also do have the anime original artwork that they came out with each girlfriend for season 1, season 2, and I'll include them here as the conversation comes up. But yeah, let's get started, and I guess a good place to start is Hakari, good girlfriend number 1. And funny enough, she's also a good representation that I think she's very middle of the road. This portrait of her is very middle of the road in terms of, I think it's a good representation of the character. Now, why do I feel that? It's because Hakari is a character, when she's not being just horny girlfriend, she is this character of almost a contrast of, she's silly and goofy, but she wants to present herself as a high-class lady. So it's interesting to see that almost depicted here in this image, because you see Rentarou snap this picture of her as she's like enjoying and gorging into this what is like a strawberry crepe, and now she's like embarrassed that she broke the high class lady image for a second there, and now it's captured on a picture. So I think that is a very good representation of her. It's not overly great because we don't really see the side of Hakari very much. Now, if this character were to lean more into this, if Hakari were to lean into this more in the story, this would be probably a much higher picture of her. But no, her character right now, and for a lot of the time, is just horny girlfriend, lewd girlfriend, who just wants to take things to the next level with Rentarou. I mean, there was literally a whole chapter of her trying to get laid. So that's why I think this one's a good starting point, because it's very middle of the road. It's definitely a decent representation of the character, but not overly good, just because the character hasn't been like that in a long time. Regarding the anime original one, though, I think it's slightly better in the representation. Now, it doesn't really show much of her as a character, but it shows her general motif is this very girly, very flower, pink, like that is her whole character, is this pink flower, and so it's just blown out of proportion in this image. Let's pull it up here. I have my second monitor, I have them blown up bigger than they are in the tier maker here, so I can see them better. But yeah, she's in this really frilly outfit. She has all the flowers, like, almost looks like they're in her hair, besides the actual flowers that are in her hair. So it's just really good. I think it's just a better, like I said, it's a profile picture. Like, so I kind of wish for the wiki here, like they were using these images, because they just feel like better encapsulations of the character. So yeah, I don't know if I want to leave the anime ones in here. Maybe I'll add them later. Karane, I actually think, is not a great representation of the character. Like, it's not bad like some of the other ones that we'll get to, but it's definitely not great either. Like, Karane, as we know her, she's this protective older sister character. Obviously, the tsundere part is her biggest trait that we see all the time. Now, I don't think a image showing her being, you know, mean and beating up Rentarou would be good for this kind of image, so we're not going to have something like that. But her pointing to... Let me pull up the bigger image here so I can give you an accurate representation. Karane, here it is. But we're like at this like amusement park, and she's like pointing out, it's like, hey, Rentarou, let's go get a picture with the little cat mascot character. Like, it's not bad, because she probably would be something like this, like if she was really into the character, the theme park or something. But we've never really seen this side to her. Like, yeah, she can be into girly things when she's not being embarrassed about it. But, I don't know. It's like I said, it's not a bad representation of her, but I don't think it's a great representation either. So, that's why I say I want the anime one. I think probably is a little bit closer to a more accurate representation of Karane, where she is we know she likes cats, so that's definitely a thing. Oh, granted, okay, so maybe it's a cat mascot character, so maybe she is a little bit, maybe it's a little bit better, because she does like cats. But we see Karane here being, you know, kind of flustered a little bit, saying, oh, you know, hey, look, we can have matching kitty mugs. Would that be cute? And it's like, not that I care if we do or anything. Like, it almost does lean into the tsundere a little bit, so that, since that is her most prominent trait. So, yeah, I do think the anime one is just once again, a slightly better representation. So, let's see. Shizuka. I do think this is actually a pretty decent one. Like, I don't think it's S tier, but I'm gonna put an A, but I think by the time I get to the bottom, or the end of all this, she's probably gonna be near the bottom of A. Like, it's not bad. Obviously, we have the book. We have... Actually, you know what? It might be an S. Because it's got everything you pretty much need. You can tell that she is this little lady, like, with this nice little frilly shirt, and the hair is done, and she's got herself a book. She's in a library or a bookstore or something like that. You know, let's put it at the bottom of S for now and see where we land, because I do think it's a very good representation. But yeah, I do think this is actually a really good Shizuka. And on the opposite of that, we see with the anime one, I actually think this is a lesser representation. Like, I do think it's actually a very good art piece. Like, if we were just judging this purely based on the art, I do think this is actually really good art. Like, the art is just beautiful with the sunset and everything. But it shows her more scared, more... Actually, she's wearing the same outfit, I just realized. Except this version has, like, less flowers on it. But it's a very good art piece, but I don't think it's a great representation of the character just because she's so scared. Like, this is obviously, like, earlier in the series when she has less confidence with herself and the family. The date one is a lot more accurate. Like, she's embarrassed. Like, you can see the slight little blush to it. You see she's, like, embarrassed of, oh no, Rentarou, you caught me reading a book, or I don't know, what could she be embarrassed about? Is that supposed to be Rentarou next to her? I don't think so. Because that's the thing, is these date pictures, or these profile pictures, or whatever we want to call them, character arts, they're supposed to be Rentarou's point of view. I guess that's what they could also be called. They're called, like, point of view shots or something. So we're supposed to be looking through Rentarou's eyes for these images. And I think that's true for also the anime ones, which makes sense for, like, you know, the Shizuka one and a lot of that. But so that can't be Rentarou if we're supposed to be looking through his eyes. But, you know, so it's a good representation, and like I said, it's the opposite of all the past two where I thought the anime art was better. It's like, no, this time the manga one's actually good, so let's put Shizuka. Oh, Shizuka's an S. What a surprise. So Nano, just terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. What was the idea behind this? Like, really? Hold on, let me pull it up. Nano. It's like, yeah, I get it, because like I said with what I was about to say with Shizuka one, where it says it almost looks like that it almost looks like the images from that chapter where they went to go meet that author. This one is clearly from the Nanoputian chapter where she shrunk, and then, you know, she came back to her full size, and then she was naked in the bed and all that. So it's clearly taken from that, but why is this her main image? Why is this her image on the website? Like, why did they think this was the one that's like, oh yeah, of all the things we could do for Nano, let's make it this? Why? Like, I would have loved to get, like, all of these posters and like make a big collage for it for a wall piece, but I'm not gonna put this as part of it. So it's just annoying. And I just don't know why they decided of all the things they could do for this character, they did this. It's the biggest stain of this whole series. But thankfully the anime art came in clutch here. It is like the perfect representation of Nano. Like it's showing her working on schoolwork, that she's smart. She's doing this like little hair flip thing, not a flip, but like, you know, moving her hair out of her face behind her ear. She does that multiple times in both the anime and the manga. So it is just, it's just such a good representation of her. So it's like the Nano manga image is at the very bottom of the pile, and then Nano anime art is just like near the top. So that, like, if we're adding in, I'm just gonna throw Nano right up here on the S. Maybe I'll do that later. Maybe I'll do that at the end. So Kusuri, on the other hand, is both not great. Like, I can't remember if I said this in the original recording, because I had to re-record this. But this one, I just don't like for multiple reasons. And I'm not going to talk too much about the art itself, because I am no artist, so I can't make comments about the art. Because I can't talk about, you know, like line work and composition, all this other fancy artwork slang that I don't really know too much of. But something about the art of the Kusuris, especially the 18-year-old one, just does not work for me. And I don't know what it is. And so, yeah, I mean, they're not terrible. They still do kind of represent the character well, but not great. So we'll put it at the bottom of C. I don't think it's atrocious like D, to be going in D, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty low. And unlike the other times where the anime art kind of comes in and saves it, Kusuri's anime art doesn't help at all. Like, once again, I think we're supposed to be once in the point of view of Rentarou looking at this. So he's on the ground covered in leaves, and Kusuri comes climbing on top of him. Why is this? Why isn't she in Chem Club? Why isn't something? Why didn't we get an 18-year-old one too? Why do we only get 8-year-old for Kusuri? So Kusuri's just a wash all around. Like this, none of these images are great. Damn torpedo boobs here. Anyway, I don't want to talk anymore. Talk about more. So Hahari, once again, not great, but not terrible either. What I like about Hahari's, the one thing I like about Hahari's, let me pull up the bigger version so I can. Where's Hahari? There she is. The one thing I like the tone of it. And what I mean by that is, look at the way the whole picture is set up. It's supposed to be like this adult, mature getaway vacation almost thing. Like they're out like at a resort of some kind. Like there you can see the pool or the ocean or some kind of body of water that's out there. They're inside this building. They're drinking. He's pouring her sake, or I don't know if he's allowed to be pouring sake. He's underage, but he's pouring her a drink. And it's supposed to be this mature date, which is great for a character like Hahari that Rentarou would want to do. Give her a date worthy of her age, being, you know, this older, mature lady. God, she's 29. So I do like the tone of it, but that is just really about it that I do like about it. It doesn't show much else to her character, but I mean, unless we're going to go into the whole like mommy thing, that's really all to her character. So maybe it's slightly better than I do. Maybe I need to put up in like lower of B's. Look at the Hanazonos hanging out in B's again. So yeah, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. It feels like a decent representation of Hahari. Whereas the anime one, once again, not great. This one is just as bad as the Kusuri one. Like, obviously, it's a point of view. Like we even see Rentarou's shadow there in the bottom. But it's just her being, you know, come to mommy Rentarou, you know, kind of expression, and boobs are practically falling out of her shirt. And that's it. It's just her hanging upside down. It's literally the exact opposite of Kusuri, who's above him and just on top. So it's not great. Kurumi, once again, not great. Well, I have a personal gripe against this Kurumi art. Hold on, let me pull up the bigger version. Because before I really got into the series and was just kind of lightly paying attention to it, I actually thought this Kurumi art was like fan art. Because it came up like in Google searches and whatnot when I was looking up like Kurumi and stuff. And I thought, oh, look, some fun art, some fan art. And I was like stunned when I found out like, oh no, this is her official artwork. And I'm just like, what? And I think the thing that really throws me off is the lighting. Now, granted, I said I won't talk too much about the lighting, but the lighting makes her hair color so different. I mean, just look how light it is compared to her anime art, which is definitely showing off the purple more. Like, it's such a odd coloring, and especially because her eyes are supposed to be these emerald green, but yet when you look at this one, yeah, it's green, but it's so, I don't know if the word's faded or something. So if we were to color correct this to make it a little bit more accurate, it wouldn't be as bad. I still don't think it's great. You know, it's just Rentarou feeding her, and Kurumi's like, hey, look, I'll feed you too, and she's happy because she's eating. So it's not terrible, but it's the color choices, and this is the only one that has this problem. Like, everyone else doesn't have some kind of like off color to what their other appearances and other art is. So I'm just knocking this one down just purely based on like the coloring of it. But even then, like I said, if the colors were great, it still isn't the greatest, but it's just fine. So I think that's what I should be ranking on. So, okay, so let's just put her above Kusuri. And then, like I said, the anime one's better. Like, it's not that much better. It is showing her being like, oh my gosh, food, and like, let's get this Rentarou. So it's better, and of course the colors are better because it's more accurate. So it's definitely better than her actual one, but it's still not the greatest. Like, the other anime ones for the other girlfriends are definitely better. Hers is just mid-range. May. Not a fan. Hold on, let me pull up the bigger one. So it's just her sitting on the ground, and Rentarou's like, here, have a handkerchief, or whatever this is. I mean, it doesn't go against the character, like something like the Nano's one is, so I guess I can't rank it that low. But it also doesn't feel like a good representation of the character. What's also funny is, like, looking at this image, if you knew nothing about May as a character, with her whole she always has her eyes closed thing, you would look at this image and not even know that's part of her character. Because I think, like, in this kind of setup of photo, someone would have their eyes closed in this kind of situation, like, oh, how grateful I am of you, and you're offering me this handkerchief, and or maybe I'm just waking up because we see a pillow there. It's like, I'm just waking up. And so I feel like having your eyes closed in this kind of situation wouldn't inform someone who doesn't know the character. It would inform them of that part of her character. Whereas you look something like the anime version, this definitely shows it off more. Like, and once again, we also bring in her maid part here with the whole tea, so you can also get that from her character from this image. But also the fact that she is now pouring tea while also having her eyes closed, and it informs the reader or the viewer that yes, this is now a character who does everything with her eyes closed. So it conveys a lot more of the character. Plus you have the whole regal ensemblance of like the little flower garden behind her. So it shows that she's part of this higher class echelon that she is from, even though that she is the maid. And the outfit does look more maid-ish. Like, it's not her maid uniform, but it's a lot closer and gives a more accurate representation than what her other one is. So that's my spiel about May. It's not great. Once again, not horrible. Iku, I like. And I like it in its simplicity. And let's put B or C. We have a lot of C's. I feel like we're going to have a lot of them. So let's just put her in B. Actually, you know what? Because in its simplicity of Iku's... Now, let me pull it up here. Now, the problem with Iku's is you know nothing about her tomboyishness here, unless you're like really tuned into like character design, and you get that kind of short hair tomboy thing from it. But I think the average person would not get her whole tomboy aspect from this image. Like, you don't see the sports side of her. You don't see anything of that, especially given this image where it almost looks like a snowy night. You're under the street light, and you look like you're about to, have that goodbye kiss before you take her home and all that. It's like, it reminds me of that one Daily Life where, it was a day in the life of Rentarou, and it's like they just go and make out behind the fence before takes before she goes home. I wonder if that's where this image is from. So it's not a bad image, like, at all. Like, especially being this point of view shot, it's probably one of the most realistic of all the point of view aspects of these images. Because, like, you have, like, her, you know, like, oh, hey, you know, being, like, shy and impish about it, holding Rentarou's hand under, like, this nice romantic setting. So it's definitely a nice image, but it's not a good representation of the character. So maybe she does need to be here at the bottom of B then. Whereas when you have with the anime one, you definitely get her more sporty side. Like, here she is in, like, workout clothes. She's dripping with sweat. She's got the water bottle. It's a bright, sunny day on the beach. It's, like, literally the exact opposite of her manga one, where it looks like a cold night and she's in her school uniform and she's being a little bit more girly here. And then Nina's like, no, then you got the tomboy, like, sports girl here with the anime one. So it's just fascinating. It's like a complete opposite. So while Iku's manga one isn't bad, it's just not a great representation of her character. Whereas like I said, the anime one is fantastic. Mimimi is pretty good. So let's put like at the top of C. Well, I'll think about this. So Mimimi is actually pretty good because it does show that she is a very high-class lady. Oh, not the anime one. We see her in the outfit from her debut chapter. And I need to talk about the clothes that a lot of these characters are wearing. Like, some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. So far, all of them have made sense. Except for maybe the May one. But we see her in this, like, regal outfit almost. So that shows to the viewer or the person who views the art is that, like, oh, this is a lady from, like, a wealthy family. Like, that is the charade that she is putting on, is that I am this beautiful woman from a very rich family who has all the money in the world, but she doesn't. But she just presents herself that way. So she's doing a good job with that here by wearing this outfit. Now, granted, this is just, like I said, her straight outfit from from the episode or the chapter or whatever you want to pull it from. And she's never worn this outfit since then. It's 236 chapters in, and she's only worn this in one chapter. But who knows? Maybe this is her date chapter, or her date outfit, because most of these images are supposed to be them out on a date. But you're gonna hear that big ice cream, but that's not what they had on the date. At least in the chapter that we saw, they were having like boba. But yeah, so it's not bad because it shows off that Mimimi is a person who tries to come off as a woman of wealth and high beauty, but that's it. And I guess that really is all you need for Mimimi, so maybe it is a good accurate representation. But it's not, it doesn't convey everything perfectly. Actually, maybe it does. Oh, I forgot we had S up here. I didn't scroll up. You know what, let's put her in A. I forgot there was a separation between the Shizuka and that, so let's put Mimimi in A, actually. And then I think we kind of have another falter with the anime one here with Mimimi, where it actually does show off more of her, I am this woman of high class, like I have all the expensive brands, look at my nails, look at my top, look at all the shopping bags that I have. So it definitely is more of her giving off the charade that I am this woman of wealth when we know she isn't. But I actually kind of prefer the manga one because it's a little bit more restrained in that sense, I guess, where it's like, yes, I'm high class and money, but I don't know, it just feels like it's more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not constrained, but like kept in check. I'm pretty sure there's a better word. But in the manga one, it just feels more like kept in check, that like I am this high class woman of money, whereas this one feels more flaunting. So if that makes sense. Mimi, not bad, but I do find it off, and I don't know what it is about it. But if we're just going by accurate representation of the character, it probably is, but it's such a small part of her character that, well, it is, because she does do a lot of knitting, so yeah, maybe it is a good representation of her. I keep cutting off the S up here. I should scroll this out here. Put those two together. But yeah, it's a good representation of her, like, you know, somebody's like, here's a date. So here's the idea in the execution is they're out on a date. They're out on a date. Gotta enunciate my words. And they're gonna go shopping for more knitting materials for Maybe. So it works, but I don't know. something about the hunched over thing just isn't working for me. Like, if she was just standing normally, like in the aisle shopping for stuff, it'd probably be better. I don't know. It's weird. And the hair bun thing isn't working for me because maybe I'm just used to Meme's hair always being down. That's where the anime artwork actually comes in better, where her hair is like how I suspect it to normally be. And granted, I'm not a fan of the outfit she has on. I don't know why. It's like, maybe it's hard to say. At least with the jacket here, we've seen that before on her, right? Was it the home date or was it something else? Can't remember. I think we've seen her in that outfit before though. So Chio, I actually really do like Chio's. It is like, actually she might even be an S. But this is a great example of, here it is, a point of view date shot, and it's everything that you could imagine with Chio. It's they're at home, or at least her home, I'm assuming. She's made dinner, which she likes to do because she's like, you know, housewife material. That's what she likes to do. She likes to be this like homebody person who's making a meal for Rentarou, and she's just like lovingly staring into his soul. Maybe that's like the one little off-putting thing about this, just the little too much staring. I don't know, something's just slightly off with that. But I just like the setup. I like the setup of the point of view shot of like your girlfriend is like lovingly looking at you, eating the food that she made. So it's actually really good, and I think it does give a good representation of Chio there. Look at that, Chio actually in S tier for something. Miss Naddy's also actually really good too. Maybe not as good as S, but maybe a good A. Because what I like about Miss Naddy's is it also envelops her character quite a bit. Let me pull up the full version here so I can look at it. Once again, we got the phone thing going on, but what's interestingly is, unlike the Hakari one, it's not a different shot on the phone. It's literally exactly what we see in the full version. But we see her like dressed up in this like American like cowboy garb, and she's with horses and she's feeding them, and it's just a good like you would show this to someone and they would be like, oh, this is the American. But you also see her silliness in there, that you see the horses eating her hair, like they're chewing on it. So you see that little bit of silliness in it. You see her dress up, and you just see like this almost American spirit because with like the leather jacket and all that. So I do think it's actually a really good representation. You just don't get like the Marabou or Westaboo or whatever you want to call it from her. So maybe we'd knock her down for just a little bit or something like that. Maybe. We'll see. So I do think it's a really good representation of her, but maybe not fully. Who's next? Yamame. Yamame actually also is a really good representation of her character, because when you look at everything that's going on in this picture, it's something I don't think many people think of when they're looking at these. But what I find really interesting about this one in particular is this is one of the few ones that it's angled to upward, and that's exactly how it should be with Rentarou, because we're supposed to be looking through his eyes. And look, he's looking up at Yamame because she's taller. But you have this great setup of they're out in nature. That's where because she wants to be. What are they even doing? It's like she has these bags on. I just know. Oh, that's his hand. That's supposed to be Rentarou's hand. They're eating something. What are they eating? I don't know. What's that yellow thing that they're eating? I've never noticed that before. But I do actually think this is a really good representation of showing that this is the nature girl. This is the girl who wants to be out in the forest and all that. So, and I do like the little, what's the detail that you're looking up at Yamame, which I find really nice. Momiji also actually surprisingly has a good one. Like, now the only downside not downside, but like the thing that doesn't really click for me for Momiji is we don't really see her being like a sweets person. So like, why are they on a date having this like tart or whatever they're eating here? It's not bad because, you know, you go on a date with your girlfriend, you go have sweets, so it's not that big of a thing for Momiji and Rentarou to go on a date and eat that. But it's like, why this food? Like, when this is the character profile of, like, this is supposed to represent the character, why would it not be something that she would probably be more into? Like, there's a lot of like squishy foods you can probably put on that plate that she would be able to enjoy more and show that she likes soft squishy things to massage them. But besides that, it's also interesting, she's one of the few profile pictures of these to actually be in like school uniform along with like Iku. So that's also interesting. So it's not bad. It's just a little odd choice with the food, but I do think it's actually a pretty good representation of Momiji, because I doubt you're going to show groping in her profile picture. Who's next? Yaku. Once again, usually my characters that are near bottom of tier list for me are actually pretty good in their profile pictures. Like Yaku has something interesting. Maybe even better than Momiji's? Yeah. You know why? Because of the simplicity. Yeah, I can't talk. The simplicity of Yaku is she's given that doting grandmother vibe here. Because look, you can see Rentarou's tuft of hair down here. So now, granted, we're supposed to be looking through Rentarou's eyes. Why is his hair down there? But it's this simple. It's the simplicity of. Actually, the hand is looking a little off now that I'm like really looking at it. Hand looks a little weird. But I'm not here to critique the art itself, because I am no artist. I can't speak to that. But it's the doting around. It's like, oh you. It's like, oh you sweet child. So in its simplicity, I actually do like Yaku's profile picture. Like this actually feels like a legitimate profile picture. Instead of, and granted, it's supposed to be, these things are supposed to be called dates, right? This does not look like something, a snapshot from a date. So maybe we should knock it down a couple points for that, because it's not a date. But it's definitely still up there as a good representation of Yaku's character. Kishika, as much as I love Kishika, this is not good. It's not... It's better than Mai. Yeah. So what I don't like about Kishika is obviously they're leaning into the whole, you know, Babu thing with her being babied, being spoiled basically, with the whole like head rubbing thing, and she's blushing for it. She's blushing because of it. But what's with the cats? Like why are the cats here? Like, I don't know. Even if you remove the cats, I don't think it'd be that much better. I think I would prefer something that shows her doing kendo. Just honestly, like I know the whole Babu thing is like her biggest thing for a lot of people, and that people like it, but I would love to see more of the Lady Knight aspect. Now granted, she's wearing one of my favorite outfits of hers. She wore this during the date with Yaku at the amusement park. I love that outfit, but yeah, I don't get the, why is this her picture? Like there's a difference between, if this was just art that like Nozawa did, I'd be like, cool, this is a cool picture of Kishika. But when this is supposed to be your identifying profile picture of the character, I don't think it's that great. As much as I love Kishika, it's like, no. Same with Ahko. I don't feel like this is great. It's definitely better than most, because it definitely relies on the whole, like, this is the gal who likes all the cute stuff, but I think my biggest problem with Ahko's is what she's wearing. Like, I don't think we've ever seen this outfit on her. Like, why do we have this disingenuous picture of her as her main profile picture? She has never worn this jacket. She's never worn those, like, things in her hair to, like, separate them into, like, twin tails. It's like, why do we have this completely different outfit that we've never seen Ahko in? At least most of these, we have seen them in. Like, it's either their school uniform or their off-school outfits, at least for most of them. I don't know, Karane's, I don't think we've ever seen that. Maybe we have. Maybe. So they've all been pretty accurate. Then we have Ahko here in just a completely different outfit. If she was in her regular school uniform, or what was she wearing in her introduction chapter? Was it her school uniform? I think so. If it wasn't one of those, this might be better, but we've never seen this creature. Like, if she was holding Pentaro, that'd be different a little bit. But nothing about this Ahko picture is accurate to the series of what either she's wearing or what she's holding. So, yeah, I gotta knock it down for just being an inaccurate representation of Ahko. Yeah, same with, like, Mai. Yeah, okay. Uto's interesting. Like, you would almost think I would knock it for not being her, like, in her bard outfit. Like, she's missing her hat, she's missing her cloak, and all that. But I actually do think this is an interesting representation for Uto. Now it looks like they're going somewhere. I always thought they were going to like a play or something, but I'm looking at the background now. They're not. What's really interesting, this is probably one of the very few times we've seen Uto's both of her eyes. But we still get this shyness of her that we see when she gets those very few intimate moments with Rentarou with her in the series. That she's like super shy about it. And I actually do like it. Now it's not a great representation of hers, but I don't think it's bad either. It's just very different. Like she's decided to drop the bard charade for this date and has dressed up like we've seen that a couple times in like some date chapters and whatnot. That she's decided to dress out of that for the evening or whatever. So it's, like I said, it's not bad, but I do think when you want this to be a profile picture for the character, you probably should do something with the bard because it's such a big part of her character. So maybe we should knock that down because of that. You know what? Maybe Karane is a C, or as a B, but like a low B. I'm going to figure out the rankings here soon. Mai is actually really good. Probably not S, but I think somewhere in the A's here. Because what I do think is really good about Mai's is, one, it's her regular outfit, like, or at least something that's very close to her maid outfit. Like, it looks like something she would normally wear. It doesn't look that special or different, and they're just at a park, it looks like, just having lunch. So, once again, it's a very date, like, actually looks like a day, like they're eating. And it's the accurate representation of the character, unlike Ahko's and whatnot. And it's very simple. And here's the other thing. It actually does show her tsundereness here. But it's like, here. It's not like I want to feed you or anything. But, you know, here you go. Ah. Say ah. So it actually... And also, so this also shows her tsundere side too. So I do have to rank it very high for almost its simplicity in it. But it's in its simplicity, it nailed everything we needed to know about Mai. Is that she's this well-dressed person. She's reluctantly going on this, like, cutesy romantic date in the park, it looks like. And now you're feeding your boyfriend. So it rules in its simplicity. Momoha also is kind of in that same regard. Pull up Momoha. This really is leaning into the whole, we are really looking through Rentarou's eyes. Kind of like Mai as well. But they're out like at a restaurant of some kind and she's got her alcohol there and she's like teasing him. So it's a nice point of view kind of date picture. Definitely doesn't show as much. Like it's you see the alcohol, so you get that part of her, and it does have that older woman charm that kind of what Hahari also has. But yeah, it is good. But yeah, I think it's kind of high. Once again, very simple. All right, Rin. Fortunately, I got to stick you down here. So I gotta ask, why is Rin's picture... Let me pull it up here. Why are we at the festival? Why for this character who is a violinist, who likes violence and just in life in general, movies, video games, and whatnot, why is her picture her in a yukata at a festival having a candied apple? The only thing that works with the candied apple is that it's bright red, and it goes with her eyes. And why is Rentarou giving her a head pat? We've never seen Rentarou give her a head pat in the series, I don't think. And if it was maybe like once. Why is she at the festival? Now, granted, this was probably maybe done before Matsuri was finalized, so it's like, okay, yeah, well, here's the character who went to the festival. And I'll talk more about Matsuri when we get there. But nothing about what they chose for the date, the scene, the setup, for everything for Rin here makes sense for her profile picture. Now, it's good art. I'm not saying it's bad art, but it falls into that category of, if this was just another art piece that Nozawa put out, it's like, oh, here's Rin and Rentarou at a festival, on date on a festival. Yeah. Here's Rin and Rentarou at a date on a date at a festival. It's like, okay, cool. But when you're supposed to be using this as the character's profile image to represent the character, this doesn't represent her at all. There's nothing about her here. Like, if you were to show this to someone, you would think this is the girl who really likes festivals. So, it's just an inaccurate representation of her. So, she's gotta be lower than Kishika then. Lower than Ahko. Maybe even lower than Mai? No. Mai, there's nothing resembling the maid here. So yeah, it's good art, and it's a cute picture of Rin, but it has no ties to the Rin character, like, at all. I'm hoping that if we do get far enough in the anime, we get Rin's anime artwork, we see something with her playing the violin, or enjoying a violent video game or violent movie or something. Just show that it shows the character more. Suu is actually pretty decent. Let me pull up Suu's here. Now, what I like about Suu's is it's obviously out on a date again. They're eating. They sneak in the cute 100 to throw in her number thing, so that actually is pretty good. But granted, that's all Suu has going is the number thing, so you can't really build more on top of that. So maybe it's like a high B. But I do like it. It's cute. It's like the whole, they went to, you know, that Japanese candy store. Okay, so what are those things called? It starts with like a K. But they got one of those, and it's like, oh, here, Suu, here's an ice cream with 100 on it. It's like, oh, 100! And she's all excited because of the 100. So it's cute, it works, it drills on her one thing, and that's numbers. So it's a good for them. Maybe it's even an A. No. Maybe. I'm gonna be shifting these around a lot. Yeah, because Mimimi had like this whole... Like, why are we putting them in other outfits? Okay, how the tiers are working is slowly starting to shape in my mind. Who's next? Eira, not Eira. Eira. Someone was trying to correct me on how to pronounce the name. I guess it's more Eira than Eira. So, what's good about this is it just looks nice. But everything else is actually very inaccurate. Like, you would think that you show this to someone and you think, oh, she's the surfer girlfriend. She's the beach girlfriend. It's like, no, she's a she kicks. So we know, like, if the image was her at a dojo, like, performing some of that or something, but it's like, no, we have her at the beach. Why do we have her at the beach with a surfboard? It's just completely inaccurate to the character. So, yeah, I have, as much as I really like this art, it is just a complete inaccuracy of the character. Is it worse than me? It might be worse than Mei's in the accuracy. Is this the least accurate one so far? I think it is. Yeah, because at least with Mei, it's kind of generic, but with Eira, it's completely misleading. Like, you show that to someone, and yeah, they're gonna think she's the surfer girlfriend. It's like, no, she's not. She's the scaredy cat kickboxer. Or not kickboxer, but capo, you know what I mean. So, yeah. Maybe even a D, because it's such a complete, like, misdirection of what the character is. Alright. Tama. Yeah, everyone knows how I feel about Tama. And yeah, her art's not much better. Now, it's decent in the way that, yeah, they're leaning into the cat thing. And it's giving enough to where you can... I'll talk about this more when we get to Hasua. So it's decent. It shows the character. It leans into the whole cat thing. So maybe it actually is pretty decent. What am I saying for B's? Like, C is just like, it's slightly off from character. B is like, I guess, more in character. Actually, you know what? Because of that, Iku should probably be lower. Because this does not show off her tomboy side. Okay. Tama. Where was I? Tama. So it's definitely shows off like the interesting, like it's definitely leaning into the whole cat thing. You know, the cat lays on your chest to show like affection, and that's it. But that's all Tama is too, is cat. So it works. Maybe. Should we separate the Hanazonos? What am I saying with these tears? Kishika. Not Kishika. Himeka. S. Like, absolute S. Like, this is my favorite character art, profile picture, whatever you want to call these things. It is just like the perfect representation of what I feel like these arts should be when they represent the character. Is one, it's the point of view, so you see Himeka holding his hand at the bottom. You have her just looking excited to be here, and then in the background you have this giant towering TV from a building, and it's showing her Kiki persona performing, showing the two sides of the character. And she's wearing other clothes right now because she's in disguise, because she's the celebrity. It perfectly captures everything about the character. It's just beautiful to look at too. Like, look at these colors. Like, hands down, Himeka's is the best of all these character arts, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. Instant S tier. Mainly going to that, yeah, Matsuri. Yeah, not great. And a couple different reasons why. So let me get into this. Where's Matsuri? So, remember how I've been saying these need to be good representations of the characters. And what do we know about Matsuri? She's a rough and tumble tomboy who loves festivals, and she has a crazy, like, frilly outfit. So why on earth are we hunched over on a beach, I'm assuming, because usually that's where the Japanese do like these fireworks sparkler things, is on the beach, all hunched over, not showing off the outfit. And I think that's probably the biggest crime of Matsuri's art, is one of her key defining features is this gothic Lolita dress that's super frilly, but here it is all bunched together because she's hunched over, and we're not showing it off. And she's not at a festival. Now, granted, this sparkler thing could have been after a festival, but literally we should be using what Rin's art is as Matsuri. Like, her at a festival, enjoying a festival, and when she's in that pose that Rin is doing in her art, we would see more of her outfit, which I feel like that part of the character, you should show off that part of the character, is this crazy outfit that she has. I don't know, and I hate these like close-up shots, because I feel like what you want to do with these profile pictures is you want to show off the character as much as possible. Actually, because of that, I think I want to knock Momoha down just a little, because it's so zoomed in on her, you don't see a whole lot of her outfit, so you're not showing a lot of the character. But it's better than, yeah, because it's a misrepresentation, because it doesn't show anything about Iku's tomboyishness. Yeah. So, once again, if this is like Nozawa put out this art and said, you know, Matsuri Rentarou after a festival date and they're playing with sparklers. Cool art. But why is this the representation of Matsuri? So that's my problem with it. It's like, why is this the representation, not actually at a festival and showing off her dress that she's so proud of because her parents made it? I don't know. Okay. Sachan. I actually really do like this because it gives off her defining feature that she loves to be just smothered. So it's a good representation of the character like that. And because of her rabbit, she probably is a big animal lover. So it's definitely good in that regard. But is it more accurate than these others? Yeah, because granted, we don't really have anything else about Usa-chan other than the whole smothering thing. Same thing as like the numbers with like Suu. But Yamame's and Mai's just get so accurate in like what these pictures should be. Like if I'm talking about like the perfect examples of what all of these art should be, we should be looking at Himeka's, Shizuka's, Chio's, Yamame's, Mai's. But yeah, I don't think she falls that far, but is it better than Sue's? I think so. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there for now. And also don't forget, what I also really love about this one is they also gave the version without all the animals crowded, so you can see like her outfit. And okay, maybe I'll knock it a couple points for that, because half of how good this picture is from what Usa-chan is wearing, and you don't see it because it's so crowded by animals. Yeah. So let's not get a couple points for that. Okay, maybe not one, just maybe one. But still a pretty good accurate representation of the character. Meru's is pretty good. It's because it's supposed to be like this, oh, we're on this, you know, fairy tale-y date of like, look at the stars, Rentarou. But the thing that drives me crazy about Meru's is almost all of them, except for like, who was the other one that I kind of pointed this out with? But Meru's is not a point of view from Rentarou. Like, I would have to assume Meru is clinging onto the arm of Rentarou in this picture, so that means this is not a point of view for Rentarou, like all these other pictures are. There was one other one that was like, oh, this can't be a point of view. Oh, Tama's, because we see his head. We saw his head on someone else's too. Yeah, oh, Yaku's. So yeah, with like Yaku and Tama, they're not point of view. So I was gonna say this is like a first break in the series of like, this is not a point of view for these kind of pictures, but no, we've had it twice now, Tama and Yaku. So, but it's kind of like a weird inconsistency. Like 90% of these are through the eyes of Rentarou, and then you have Yaku, Tama, Meru of not. So why? What's with the inconsistency? But besides that, I do think it's very nice. I do kind of wish it leaned more into something fairy tale-y, or the fact she's an author a bit more, but for a date picture, he would take her to something like this and she would like it, so it's definitely along the B's here. Maybe the top of B's, because it's just a really nice. But it doesn't show much of her character. Like, this one kind of shows her character, this one shows her character. Trying to figure out how I'm managing these. Okay, so yeah, maybe middle of B, because it's not showing her character. Now these show their character more. Yeah, okay. Saki. As much as I love this, it's not a great representation of her character, but maybe just like low B. Because, okay, I know I said it's not a great representation of her character, but her outfit and her, you know, her hat and jacket and all that is so tied to her character. It's so weird to see, like, this is one of the few things we see her out of that outfit, and it's her official artwork. So, I don't know. She is kind of wearing the jacket. Is it the same? No, it's a different jacket. And what's with the whole New Year's Eve, like, fortune pulling thing? And what's with the pose? Yeah. So it's not a bad representation, but it's not a good representation either. So, yeah, maybe just at the bottom of B. Nemu is pretty good because it definitely shows off her whole sleepy thing. And that's... Now, granted, I was gonna say, where's the shoe? Where's the cobbler part of her character? But the series itself hasn't mentioned that since her introduction, so why even bother? I don't like that it's zoomed in, so it's kind of like a Momoha problem, but I think it's slightly better than Momoha's. Yeah, I think about there is right. It's better than Momoha's, even though it's still a zoomed in one, because it shows off the character more. Like what her thing is, and that's being sleepy. Hasua. I think Hasua is the one that made me talk about not liking a good portion of them. Because, one, it's ripping off of Tama's thing. It's just a repeat of Tama's, but it's worse than Tama's because it's so zoomed in. Like, I know we've had a couple of them where they're not Rentarou's point of view, but here's another one, and it's worse because it's like, at least with Tama, you can see most of her body. Like, you see her paws in front of her, you see, like, the rest of her torso, and you see the tail behind her. But in Hasua's, it's so zoomed in, you only get her face and her little bit of hands that she's, like, holding on to him. So, nothing about her detectiveness, nothing about maybe she's sniffing. And it's just so zoomed in, like, you see nothing else. She has such a cool outfit, too, and it's the Matsuri problem again. You give this character a cool outfit, and it's not in her artwork at all. So, yeah, this is bad. Not as bad as Naked Nano, but I think it is the worst out of the rest. And maybe it's better than Eira because at least it's not misleading. I keep calling her Eira. Sorry, Eira. And then Kimari is not great as well. Like, it's at least we see some part of her body, unlike Hasua's. Let me pull up Kimari's here. But we got the torpedo boobs again. Not great. And she's just so out of the center. Like, she's off to the side, so it's not that great. Yeah, and then... Yeah, she's doing her little, you know, it's like, oh no, we mustn't thing. So at least that's accurate to her character. And because they're like holding hands at the movie theater, so it's, I gotta give Liz points for that. It's, you got that part of her character down, so it's better than Hasua's. Is it better than Mei's? You know what? Let's put Mei down here because it's just being disingenuous to the character that you have nothing about her maidness being in here. So let's put Kimari up here then. It's at the bottom of C. But yeah, yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think it's the fact that she's not centered in any kind of way. Like, everyone else is the center of the image. Right? Like, I'm just checking. Even Hasua, Mei's a little bit off to the side, but it's not terrible. But Kimari's like totally shoved off to the side here. And then Rentarou himself. I mean, it's not a... There's nothing representing him. Honestly, the thing that pisses me off of the most about Rentarou's thing is the fact it's a winter outfit. It's a winter setting. He's like in front of this light Christmas tree thing. It's like, why are we giving our main character of a series who's trapped in forever spring his character portrait, but it's a winter vibe? Why? So yeah, and it's also kind of funny to think about, like, okay, who's the one girlfriend who gets to hold Rentarou's hand in his official character portrait? It's not visible in the little thing here that I made, but I'll pull it up for the editing. But I got like the full version of the image, and yeah, he's holding someone's hand. Whose is it? Could be 1 of 100. Well, maybe not Eira because she has darker skin tone. But yeah, I just don't like it because, like, why this inaccuracy of putting him in such an outfit like this? Like, why? That's a personal grudge, though. Anyway, I think that is it. Let's see if I want to run through this real quick. So, like, accurate representation's good. Actually, Chio might even be better than Shizuka's. You know what? We need to fill up S a little bit more. Just great representations of the characters. Pretty good representations of the characters. Kind of in the middle representation of the character. Missing, like, key aspects of the character that should be shown off more. Not great representations, but not terrible either. The only reason Kurumi's is here because of the off-putting coloring. So that's why she's at the top of C. Otherwise, she'd be in B somewhere. And then just misrepresentation of the characters. So, yeah. And then if I want to throw in the anime ones real quick. So the one for Hakari is definitely the better of it, so she'd be here. Same with Karane. Shizuka's actually below that, but it's still... Well, they don't have to be next to each other, so... If this were to be Shizuka's, it'd probably be maybe in the B somewhere. Actually, you know, I'm not gonna... that's getting everything really messy. You know, let's not do that. You heard my thoughts of these when I talked about them. But yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Like, am I accurate in my assumptions or my thoughts on what should these profile pictures be about? Am I just having the whole wrong mindset? Like, should these not be profile pictures? Like, what should these pictures be representing? Because these are listed as their official artworks for stuff like the wiki and one. Like, this is the image for them. So am I having the wrong mindset of saying that these should be more accurate to what the characters are? So yeah, leave me a comment below and let me know how you would shake up the tier list. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next review and other videos that you decide to check out. Hope you all have a good one.